Hey guys, let's talk about tonight's episode of Scandal. And after last week's big reveal from Olivia that yes, she was the president's mistress, I was very excited to see what was going to happen in this week's episode. And we pretty much pick up right where we left off, and we're just at the moment when Mellie and Fitz are giving their interview to the reporter. And I have to say, Abbie in this episode was hilarious and really good. Her walking up and down the hallways, stomping up and down her little heels and then taking her shoes off. She was in full on panic and yet very calm demeanor when she was trying to handle this whole situation. I think she did a great job. And I even liked the fact that she had some words with Olivia about all of this. But let's just get right to it, okay? The reveal was awesome. Olivia sneaking back into the White House and rolling up into the Oval when after Fitz and Mellie see the interview. And I loved Fitz's face when he sees what Olivia does and she admits to the affair, and he's just got like this smirk on his face and they do this slow zoom in on him. You're just like, he is loving every minute of it. Meanwhile, Mellie is having a full on meltdown right beside him. It was pretty awesome. So pretty much this episode was all about Mellie and what it was going to take for her to co-sign this affair on national television. And Olivia and Fitz just had to sit back, suck it up, and listen to her demands, and they were pretty awesome. She obviously wants to run for the presidency, and I loved when we brought in Cyrus, because as you know, I think it was the first episode when Mellie reached out to Cyrus and wanted him to be on her campaign as I guess the chief advisor on her campaign. And so when she called him in once. Fitz was basically like, "We're not lying. You go back to your room and we'll call you when we're ready to go into the interview." I was like, remind me again why Olivia loves Fitz, because he can be a real, you know what, okay? So when Abbie goes back to the room, obviously Cyrus shows up, and I love it. So Mellie is in full on rage. She wants to attack. She wants to put Olivia down. She wants to destroy her. And of course, Cyrus is like, think of the bigger picture. What is it that you really, really want here? And she's like, I want the Oval. He's like, exactly. So let's do whatever it's going to take to get you there. And I love that, because it was sort of like, let's put our real thinking cap on. Don't do what you really want is and be human just and go for revenge. No, let's think strategically. So of course they come up with all these, Fitz has to be with her at all times during the campaign. He's got to support her. He's got to do all these things. Olivia can't take the Grant last name. There cannot be a second Mrs. Grant. There can be no photo op. So she came up with a laundry list of demands. And at the end of it, they basically gave her everything that she wanted. And she was just like, no, I'm not happy. And I love that, because it was like nothing was going to make her happy. Because hello, let's face it, she's been humiliated, and she's known for years that Olivia and Fitz have loved each other, but she believes that her and Fitz are a team, and that is sort of the way their relationship has been playing out for the last like 3-4 seasons, which is they were in love, but it was a marriage of convenience, and she was obviously very ambitious, and she knew what she wanted, which was to be president one day, but she had to put all of her dreams aside just so that she could get this dude into the Oval, and she did. She made tons of sacrifices, and I'm glad that we saw some of the flashbacks to those sacrifices that she had made to help him stay in office and get in office. So Mellie has really been put through the ringer, and the fact that Fitz just treats her like terrible, treats her terribly is just terrible. I love that scene when Mellie is looking for her hooch in I guess, one of the closets, and Olivia accidentally walks in. I don't know how Olivia had made a wrong turn and ended up in the closet, but she did. And she has this great conversation with Mellie, and Mellie's basically like, look, you don't get to make choices anymore. Like, basically, your life is over. Once you have sit beside him, you are no longer important. It's all about him. It's what he wants. It's what he needs. And I thought it was just a really great scene for Mellie just to sort of spill everything, what she's done lots of other times, but it was in that moment where she was just like, good luck to you if this is what you want. And she just was so sad and upset, but like she was just like, don't think that I'm drinking to drown my sorrows. This is what keeps me alive, because this White House, is like a prison. So I thought that was a very powerful scene that the two of them had. And then obviously Olivia goes back to Fitz is like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm calling it. You go back to your wife. We'll just wait 18 months and then we can be together. And Fitz is like, no, I'm not doing this again. Like, I want to be with you. And she's like, are you realizing what I'm sacrificing in all of this? And I thought that was a really good moment too, because yeah, Olivia is sacrificing a lot to be with this man who, I don't know, wants to live in Vermont and make jam, whatever. So I don't know. I just think that Olivia taking that moment to confess to this, and then I like that when she got on the phone with Jake. Listen, I'm not one for the back and forth, but I think at this point Jake is like her best friend, and I'm fine with that. So when she calls him and she's like, "What's going on over there?" and he's like, "We're drunk, we're getting drunk," and she's like, "I wish I could be there," and he's like, "I'll be there in 2 seconds," and she's like, "No, don't worry about me." She's like, "Besides, you're too drunk." So it's like they've got this relationship now where we know he loves her, but she doesn't feel that same way, but they still have a bond. They've been through a lot together, and I think that she knows that she can always trust Jake and he'll always be there for her. So best friends is how I see the two of them, and I kind of like that anyway. So I thought that was a really cute scene, but obviously something now is going on, and we're setting up for the next, I guess, B613 or the next covert operation that's going to go down, because the Louvre is on fire, and that means something to not only Jake, but it obviously means something to Papa Pope, because Jake goes to visit him, and this obviously, I think he said Lazarus or something like that, is the name of this next operation, that it seems like something is going down, and this fire is just a smoke bomb to what is the bigger picture going on, I guess. So yeah, a lot went down, and at the end of it, Abbie basically took Liv's advice, or what Liv would do, and threw Olivia under the bus. And do you remember, like way back in, I think it was season 2, when Cyrus had a kill file on all the members of Pope and Associates? So Lizzie Bear found it and was digging through it, so she started calling out some of Olivia's past indiscretions, and the fact that she's been down this road before. She's dated a lot of political, high profile political men, and this is sort of just her strategy, to get in with the people that can get her somewhere in Washington. So at the end, Abbie goes up onto the podium and she basically throws Olivia under the bus, and this is when Olivia says to Fitz, "Let me prove to you that I love you." You know what I mean? So I think it was back in season 3 when Mellie was going to give an interview, and Olivia was trying to stop it, and then Fitz said, "Watch me choose you," and then they sat there and they watched the clock tick out, and Mellie just looked like a fool, because she was going to go on this interview and he wasn't going to be there with her. And so this is her moment to sort of go full circle and say, "Watch me choose you." So they play a really great song, of course, and the two of them sit down on the couch, have some whiskey or something in a glass, and they hug each other and basically watch as Abbie throws Olivia under the bus. And that's basically the route that they're going to take, so that she looks like the villain and not Fitz in all of this. So whatever, we'll see. So a pretty good episode. It was kind of, not as dramatic as I thought it might be. I thought Abbie was awesome in this, and I like that she called out Olivia and basically like, "You lied to me when you said that you weren't sleeping with the president. How dare you? And you made me look like a fool on the podium. You humiliated me when amongst all my peers and everything." And she called her out. She said, "You didn't think I could handle it, and I would be able to do my job knowing the truth." And that scene when Cyrus was basically heart in hand, and he was basically telling the president, "Look, I want to come back. I want to be your chief of staff again. I've always done everything I can for you, and I will continue to do that. And I want to come back. I'm begging, da da da." And Fitz is just like, "You don't work here no more. Beat it." And then he turns around and goes to Mellie and says, "You've been played." I was like, booyah, you can't. Look, Cyrus will always be Cyrus. Look, Cyrus was willing to kill Olivia at one point. Cyrus will do whatever it takes. Okay, so he is not going down in flames. He is going to find his next ticket, and that next ticket is Mellie. So we'll see what happens with those two, because those two are an awesome pairing. Mellie and Cyrus together, oh my God. That is magic and gold. Can't wait to see what happens. All right, guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you thought of this week's episode, and I will see you next week.